welcome to the stream. It's probably not going to be very long, but I'm going to show you what I've been. Well, it's pretty much done. I'm going to make a video about it here in a minute, but I just wanted to show some people what I've been working on. It's a little bit different than your normal system corruption, but I liked it, so I thought you guys would probably like it as well. And then of course you're going to get the people that are like, I'm going to have to explain it to. I'm just going to set the stream up first, real quick. As soon as it hurries up. It's being slow today. Oops. Let me save that, go back. Okay, add this and then I'm good to go in a second. I just have to add this. That's one thing I like about TubeBuddy is I have these little playlists of things I can just put in, and I just pick it and it goes in. Boom. Otherwise I'd have to type this shit out for a while. And it would take a while. Now, I have a bunch of system corruption. I have a bunch of system corruption pieces, but I really like the biomask. But this one I'm running 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 yellows, and the Scorpio and Gunner and the breadbasket with damage to armor and its nice ability to get headshot damage as well. Not so much that though. I just like that gun and I do like the talent. It's pretty nice. I'm not going to say it's nasty, so I'm just saying it's nice. I will show you something that is nasty though.
EMP jammer detected nearby.
That's one of those. Okay, it's one of those, so it's not too bad. I don't mind these rounds. Is that a big guy? No. So basically I'm just trying to get these guys to come over here. Come have a little party. I just want them to damage me a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. It's okay because something is going to heal me. There you go. Besides my system corruption. He's like, oh, I got you now. Oh, wait a minute, I'm healing you. And see, while I'm waiting for that to cool down... Oh, he healed me again. Usually it's a really high cooldown on this, but the way I'm running this is not your usual way of doing things. I'm not running my usual explosion or explosive delivery though. I'm trying to do this a bit different. I'm not too worried because they're gonna try to. Oh, never mind, he healed me. And actually, I'm gonna switch my gun out in a minute. Because I usually run this, when I run this way, I usually run it a different way, but unfortunately I don't have my gun on me right now. Because I didn't think about that before I started it. And the reason why I run it that way is because when you do this, and you activate your hack stun protocol, that's one of the reasons why I like running this. And he's running from me. Ah, you little bastard. Anyways, yeah, he's running away. Oh, they're gonna come back this way. Well, you're stuck. This little bastard's got me pinned over here. However,
Medical assistance needed.
that's what I like about system corruption. Is the fact that he's just gonna heal me anyways, because he's gonna run like shit.
Backup
Support
request.
station deployed.
Can't see anything from here.
EMP jammer destroyed.
That's one of the reasons why I love system corruption as well. Plus, you get some... So the way I'm running this is pretty interesting. So I got 2 blues, so it gives me 1.1 million armor. It's not a lot, but it's a hell of a lot more than what I would have had if I would have ran it the other way. But I have 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 yellows. Chest piece is perfectly skilled, which means I have a chance to use my things right away again. It says 30% chance to reset skill cooldowns, but I really think it's higher than that. Because when I run this on a hardwired build, I can literally get that thing to proc a lot. Almost non-stop. But what I've done with this system corruption is I've put skill haste on all of my shit, except for this one. And I did that so that I could have the Stinger Hive somewhat get its stuff back, but also to shorten the length of time for the shock trap, because as you know I'm running gunner, so I'm using that as my secondary heal, and also to stop them in their tracks when they try to rush as well. So I'm using it two ways. This is something that I'm working on. It's not in stone yet, because I have more system corruption pieces. I have different ways I can run it. I like this way though because I have that vial mask, so I have 2 tiers, but I have the vial mask so I can put an extra damage in there. But normally when I run this, whoops, I just went to the DC. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm on PS5. It won't take long. It's usually pretty quick. But normally when I run system corruption, I usually run the pestilence because
Safe area detected.
I want to cause as much damage as I can. Where are you? I usually run this because when I hit that hack step protocol, it also increases my ticks, the ticks that I do. Because you get that little extra. Let me see if I can get it to do it here. It should. See if I can get a good little blast on something here. I'll try to stack as high as I can without killing the target. Okay, full stacks. So he's at 461. I'm just going to let that spread for a second. Now I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it with my... Oh, I didn't hit it in time. I'm just going to let it cool. I want it to spread first. See, now here's where, this is what I want to explain, because people, when it comes to the pestilence, you see how it's going all over the place, and it's going high, and then it's going back down low, and it's going lower, then it goes back up a little bit. I'm convinced, and I'm gonna test this out as well. I know that it's got to do with that a little bit. So let me look at my stats. I don't have amazing crit hit damage or anything. So on my pesty, I have 16% crit hit chance. So let's see what happens. When we do this. Oops. So to do this. I just want to slightly increase it. Because I'm convinced that this is true. And I have a feeling it is. So I have just over 31. Needs to be a little higher. Okay, so no, the damage doesn't change, but I'm convinced that the higher your... Oh, it did. See, it's jumping. But it stayed blue for the most part. I'm convinced that if you get enough crit hit chance on your pesty, which I think I have a build where I have like 50%. Those ticks, I believe, become consistent when your chance is higher. Not the damage, just the actual ticks. I believe they become more stable at a number. Whereas if you don't have crit hit chance very much on your pestilence, I believe that's why it jumps everywhere. I'm at 31 right now. So if I jump over here, I need that other Seska piece right here, this one. I don't even know what it has on it. It has braced. Okay, that's fine. Brace is perfect, actually. I need chest piece. Okay, so that should bring me up a little higher. Yeah, it brings my pestilence up to 47%. I gotta hit something here. Yeah, see that? See that? You're seeing that? See how consistent that was? It stayed hot. Like the number did kind of go up too because I put a red piece on, but the point there was I increased my crit hit chance enough that just give me 1 second. Anyways, my phone was going off. So what I was saying is when I started out, like before I started adding this stuff and I started putting a little bit more stuff into this a second ago, I only had about, I think it was like, what, 16% crit hit chance. And when I was hitting these targets, the numbers were white and sometimes they were blue, but they were jumping all over the place. They were jumping absolutely all over the place. But now that I've increased my crit hit chance to, with the pestilence, I've increased it to 47%, which is more than enough. You don't have to get it to 60. Sorry, I had to get the door. So anyways, you get the crit hit chance up. Not so much with the damage, but the chance. And your pesty will do more damage. Or sorry, will do consistent ticks. I tried this before as well, and it was the same thing. And because somebody told me, because I was testing this, they told me, oh, you know, why are you putting, you know, crit hit chance on your pestilence? And I said, well, when I hit targets and I stacked them up, I noticed that without it, the numbers were jumping all over the place and they were never consistent. But I noticed that when I increased the chance, those numbers started to be more consistent. So that tells me that yes, the pestilence likes weapon damage and it likes damage to armor, but it also likes crit hit chance because it makes the numbers stable when they're ticking. This part I've tested thoroughly, and I just wanted to show it again. I'm not saying go out there and make 60. I mean, you can if you want. If you got a build where you can make 60% on your pestilence, go right ahead. Just make sure you can survive as well. You're going to need some blue on there. Which means I could totally, if I wanted to, switch this up and put that there now. So this is what leads me to my second part of this. So a lot of people focus on crit hit damage, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if I was you, I would focus more on chance, because I had a build, I'm not even kidding you, I had a build that didn't really have much crit hit damage, and I didn't have really much chance either. So when I was hitting, it was okay, it wasn't that great. But when I maxed out and I started firing on crit hit chance things and got my stuff up, and I used the same build with crit hit chance all the way up to 60, I noticed that even though I had low crit hit damage, I could still down things a lot faster than I could before because I had my chance up. Which means even though I only had like 50% crit hit damage, it didn't matter. I think in the grand scheme of things, yes, if you have more, you can do more, but you really don't need all that. You don't, because I can drop people in PvP with 50% crit hit damage. No problem if my chance is at 60. Actually, I think you guys might have saw when I was running the shield build. I don't have, like, a dick all for crit hit damage, but I was able to drop that guy. Consistently drop that guy every time he came out, except for once. I almost got him again, but he changed his build. But that's besides the point. It still is a consistent thing when I used it. I didn't have the crit hit damage, but I had the chance, so that made a big difference. Huge difference in that fight. Because I tried it before, like I said, I tried it before I jacked up my chance on that build. And it took me a long time to kill things. But as soon as I added the chance, didn't matter. Now you're going to get people out there that are going to say, no, you need the damage too. No, you don't. I have consistently tested this non-stop for the past 3 months. Like, I do test this out. I come back to it all the time and test it out. And yes, any build can be powerful if you've got enough crit hit chance. You don't need the damage. So if you want to be a skill build and jack up your chances, like I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about making a hardwired build, because I love hardwired. I'm thinking of making a build like that and jacking my chance up on each piece. So you're probably going to see me farming for more of that, because I really want to make sure that I get the chance in there. If I can jack that chance up with that build, I'll be able to, no problem. I'll be able to maul people with hardwired, no problem. With my guns as well as my skills. My skills naturally are going to do their job, but I'll also be able to maul them with my guns as well. Chance is more important than damage, in my opinion, because without it, you cannot get the other side without it anyways. But if you don't want to sit there and focus on damage, because I do also believe that there's diminishing effects or diminishing returns with that as
Requesting
well.
backup.
Yeah, well, if you're running a raid, that's a totally different monster altogether. And that's no problem to get 140% crit hit damage. I have a build for that. What I'm saying is when you're PvPing, you don't need all that damage that some people run. Like, I mean, you can drop people quicker, but you're also sacrificing other things as well when you do that. So you become really powerful, but really squishy, right? Because you've got all that damage and chance and no fucking armor. Or barely any armor. People think that, having like 1 million armor is fine, but I mean, it's really not. Kind of like when I run my hardwired build, sometimes I'm risking a lot because I only have 726,000 armor. But I've rectified that with my new way of running hardwired with the armored cores instead of the yellows. So I have about on my hardwired build that I sometimes use, I still love it. I have 1.5 million. But I can still dish out those secret mines like no tomorrow. And I can still drop people because I've got my chance up on that one. I think in PvP, I don't think they really care about how much, like, they obviously you will kill people quicker, but like I said, I don't think they really care if you only have 50 crit hit damage, for example. If you have 60% chance, I mean, it kind of evens things out, really. At least from what I've seen and done. I'm not saying keep your chance to damage low. I mean, I'm just saying if you want to run a skill build, I would go with chance, not damage. Like for your guns. Because then your guns can do more damage. Imagine having 60% crit hit chance on a capacitor and you're running 6 tiers of skill. Like, you're going to rip something apart. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say imagine running the oh my god, what did I say? Sorry. I have a striker build that I've rolled into a skill tier. Imagine running that so that you had 60% crit hit chance with a capacitor. What you could do to somebody so quickly. Because you would be hitting, you'd be critting nonstop. Because this is how I figured this out. So the cap is 60% crit hit chance. How do you say this? So 60% crit hit chance is basically equivalent to 100% crit hit chance. From what I've tested. Because when I have 60% chance, I can use obliterate and I can non-stop crit. Oh yeah. But I can make a character right now. The capacitor is usually in the summit. There's a challenge. You know how you do your challenges in the summit? You have to get so many of those done. But after you do, you'll actually get the capacitor for doing the challenges. That's why people tell people to do the challenges in the summit. That's how I got my capacitor a couple times. I've had about like 10 of them. But yeah, I just keep redoing the challenges and then going through them, and then like you see how it says recommended activity on the top right. When I go to the summit, it's gonna say challenges, and I just open that up and go through them. You can look at the details and you'll see what you need to do in order to get it, because you'll get a summit cache and you'll get the capacitor after, I think you have to reach a certain level, like within doing those challenges. You don't have to do anything outrageous either. You can literally just keep doing challenges over and over again that are not too bad, and you'll still get it. I've gotten like three from there so far. I got 2 last week. That's what I was gonna say. So if I make, I was going to say that next. I was going to say when I make a character, all I have to basically do is get to the White House. As soon as I get to the White House, I go outside here. I should be around level 4 or whatever, 5 by the time I get here. I come through this gateway right here, and there's a helicopter. If you have the Warlords of New York expansion, that is. I go up to this guy right here. Tell him I want to go to New York. He says, "You sure?" I say yes. The minute I get to New York, I'm level 30. Now all I have to do is get to level 40, and I obviously beat the story. And I can start getting my shade levels. Whereas if you started a character and you don't have that ability, it might take a little while. Yes, that's right. Which he's not too bad. I mean, that's what matchmaking's for if you really need to. I beat him pretty simply. I beat him solo. I have another character that's in New York right now. He's level 35 at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So if I need to, if I have to unload a bunch of stuff, that second character, third character, whatever, it's great. Here you go, you can have it. If I need it, whatever I need, I'll come back and, take it back. But I don't have to keep all this stuff on me. But, people are saying, they need to up the space. Like the space that you have for your, like, inventory and stash. And I thought about that. And I like the way that the extra characters are, that's just fine that way. Because if they, think about this, if they jacked up, like, let's say they jacked up the stash to 2,000, for example. And I've already got a full stash, pretty much. Imagine having to go through that when it's full again. Like, it's going to take you a while. Yeah. That's what I said when people started talking about, like, it upping the the space. I was like, no, just make extra characters. Like, think about this. If they increase that to an even larger amount, you're gonna be complaining because you have too much stuff, and it's taking you, like, a couple hours just to go through it. I would hate for them to up the stash size to, like, 1,000 or something. I could not see me sitting here going through the stash at 1,000, trying to get it to go down, or, like, trying to get rid of stuff and see what I need.
Physical and verbal violence inside the perimeter will not be tolerated. Violators risk permanent expulsion from the secure area.
Sorry, the Amazon guy, that when they come, uh, they always do some weird shit. They always put it out in the open, and they take a picture, and I mean, it's the way they ring the doorbell. It's like ding 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 ding. I was like, holy crap, dude! You just have to like do it once. Yep. Oh, that's fine. I mean, I know why they're so. During the PTS, a bunch of them complained about the not the big ones, YouTubers, but there was people that were complaining about it was too easy to level up your proficiency. But I knew that they were not going to leave it that way. They just wanted to see like how it, they wanted people to test it to see how it works. Is it working good? Is it overpowered? So I knew they were going to do that because they've done something like this in the past before, where they just let you level up quick for something because they want to see how it works. And then obviously once it comes out, it will not be like that. It'll be much harder to level it up. Like, so that it's going to take you time, and it's not going to be, like after a week, you're not going to be like, look at me, I'm level 100 in this particular thing. I know, I heard that as well. I kind of wish that I had a PC that could run the PTS, because I'd like to try this stuff out. But I already know why the console's not getting a PTS, and it doesn't bother me. It's because the console has to go through like certification every time they do like an update for the PTS. It takes like a week or two for the certification to go through, and it's a pain in the ass. And that's why they don't do it. They did it on the last one, and they regretted it because it just took too long to get the PTS updates out for the console because they had to get certified. Which is weird because it's their game, so why do they? It's a Sony thing, right? Sony requires certification for stuff like that. I don't know why, but they just do. So that's why they decided to not do it in this for the console players, because I'm on PS5, so it doesn't hurt my feelings. I understand it's a pain in the ass, and I understand. Because just think about this: if they had a PTS for console and it takes like 2 weeks for one single patch to be approved, imagine how long it's going to take us to get through the PTS. So the update would have to wait. PC guys would have to wait to get their update to for it to actually come out, because they'd have to wait on us, right? Because every time they did an update, they'd have to wait. So the PC guys would be getting pissed off. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why they don't do a PTS on here. They would love to do a PTS on here, but they did also say that they got more input from PC players, which doesn't surprise me, right? Because when console players get like a new update to play around with, what are they going to do? Really, what are they going to do? They're going to play around with the update, but they're not really going to say, hey, I noticed this happened. Not too much. They're mostly going to just play like it's the game, right? Whereas the PC players are actually going to, and I hate saying that they're, it's any different, but they really will on PC analyze it more than they would on console. So they're going to get the feedback from those guys. And there's a hell of a lot more PC gamers than there is console gamers. So you're definitely going to get the feedback. Who bought who, though? You think Apple bought Sony? Or is it the other way around? If Sony bought Apple, I truly hope they didn't. I truly hope they did not. Because I know what's going to happen with that. from my previous experiences, like I love PlayStation, but there is some things that Sony has done in the past that have made me very, very angry with their stupidity sometimes. And one of those things was there was a game that I used to play online. I used to play on PC, and Sony took the game over. Like Warner Brothers made the game, and so did Mammoth, but Sony took it over. And the minute Sony took this game over, they just started gutting it. They started screwing it up and just destroying the online. They did the same thing with Star Wars Galaxies. They destroyed that game. So it scares me to think that I think Sony probably bought Apple, to be honest, because Sony did acquire, or we're talking about acquiring something big. I just hope it's not true, because I really like my Apple products the way they are, and I don't want Sony fucking it up.
Hey kid, I'm not your dad. Come visit me.
Okay. That would be a cool thing, just as long as they don't start dipping into like the Apple Watch and stuff like that. Like that's, yeah, I like the way it runs now. I just from my past experiences of Sony touching things like big, it's like scary because I've seen them destroy games. Literally destroy games in a matter of a year. The first thing they did with the game I played was they gutted the PvP. They made a new PvP system that was stupid, and it was not good. It just didn't make sense for them to do what they did. It was fine the way it was. All they had to do is refine the way it was. Okay. Well, that's fine then. That'd be cool. I think it's because Apple wants to get into more gaming. I swear, these Amazon guys. Okay, so here's something funny for you. So I ordered a bunch of stuff that I needed to do, like for the house, through Amazon, the same day, at the same time, and everything that came did not come all at once. It's all separate days, and I'm confused. I'm like, okay. Everything had the same projected day to come when it was all in the thing, and then, so, yeah. One comes today, one comes 2 days from now, and one comes 4 days from now. But in the order, it said it was all coming at once. Or at least that was my assumption. So, that's kind of annoying. I was trying to get a backpack for somebody that Memento backpack, because there's somebody I play with there that was trying to get one because he doesn't have one.
We need you to secure a skyscraper.
He's not on right now though, so I'm gonna have to switch my thing up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch this up. I'm gonna start going 1, 2. So I need backpack, gloves, knee pads, holster. Yeah, I know. It's just it's just annoying to me because, you know what I mean? I know they know the setup, but like if I'm ordering something and they're all saying the same day, they should probably like not wait until afterwards and say, or like it's usually a day after that they say, okay, by the way, this isn't coming till this day. Don't get me wrong, it's been the opposite way sometimes too, where things were supposed to be all like separate days, and it all came at once. I need to do a video about the different companies when they drop off packages. So I have a question. I'm not sure about this, but is that new countdown thing, is that a raid, or is it just they're just calling it countdown, and that's the new mode? That's what I've been trying to. I've been watching streams of people playing it or trying it out, and it looks a lot like a raid, sort of. It's a mini raid, okay. So with you know what's really going to be cool though? Does anybody know? So I have the Foundry backpack, and as you know, I have the backpack. When I'm running a Foundry set with this backpack, it's absolutely amazing how strong it is. I haven't actually seen what the chest piece does. Does anybody know what the chest piece does for the Foundry set? Because this one just increases the repair speed from 15 to 10 seconds. So what I'm trying to figure out here is what the Foundry chest piece does. So I've never had it, and if I did, I didn't look at it because I donated it for the Regulus. You know what I wish they would do? I wish they would go and they would do I wish they would do a PTS again, and I wish they would bring back the 5 and 6 piece gear bonus sets. For the gear sets, the 5 and 6 piece bonuses. It would definitely breathe a lot of life back into this game, and it would make builds even more different, because then you would see people actually using these gear sets. Oh, you're on lunch break? Oh, not too bad. In the summit. I'm gonna try to get some hardwired pieces again. And this time I want to make sure they have chance on them, crit hit chance. Because I want to jack up my chance on that. Keep it yellow. Keep it yellow. I'm going to still keep it yellow because I'm going to use the capacitor. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to wait until they drop the thing, and then I'll start I'll probably come here and I'll start farming Foundry pieces, and then I'm sure it's gonna drop. I bet you it drops quite often actually when it comes out. Everybody under the sun is gonna have future initiative backpacks and chest pieces and Foundry chest pieces and backpacks. But I mean, if you do the raid, they drop pretty good there too. So. Like, there was the one raid that I did, the Iron Horse one, I got so many, I got so many different, like, I got like 3 or 4 chest pieces, 3 or 4 backpacks in just one raid. But I had to donate some, and some other people needed them, and I kind of needed them too, but I'm not selfish, so I gave them away. I kind of wish I kept one for myself, but not a big deal. I mean, I can get another one soon. Yeah, so I'm going to try there. Let me see. Right now I'm running, what do I got on there? Bleed resistance. Okay, I must have had a bleed build going on. Let me see what I got for chance right now. Okay, let's just add a little bit of crit hit damage right here. Because I have enough chance now. It's okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Obviously, if I was doing a raid, I would want a lot more, right? If I'm gonna run DPS. Did you prep? Let's see. Okay, so I want them to chase. I want them to chase. That's gonna spread. I'm gonna heal. Just like this. Oh no, that hurt so bad. Hurt me so bad I forgot to heal. Oh wait. I forgot about this. Oop.
I'm under fire!
Yes, you are. Got milk.
No, sir.
We got Spammer Boy there. Not a big deal. Gotta watch out for that sniper.
Got one right over there.
Ugh. What you gonna do? You die, bitch. Oh,
Immediate medical assistance needed.
thank you. Nice heals. Oh, I can't see shit. No! Fuck off. Oh, you cunt.
Deceased.
Fuck you and your blind bitch. You rotten bastard. Alright.
Hostage situation detected.
Heads up! EMP!
Alright, asshole.
It's as good as gone.
Agents on their feet! Out again! Hostile is running. Pinned down!
Why is that not activating?
Firing on hostile.
That's like right on top of him right now.
Do not let them flank.
Interesting.
Keep that up. Gotta move!
Oh, is the shit? He's down. I gotta go over here. Okay. Ah! Oh, I was right there to heal him. Alright, see you later, buddy. Okay.
Vital signs critical.
What? It said I failed. Okay, perfect.
Agent
Whatever.
detected.
This is what I hate about the hostage. So, one thing I hate about the hostage rounds is the fact that they run into danger. Like, instead of taking cover back here where it might be safer, and the fact that I can get back here and help them, and not have all those robots, drives me nuts because they run out here, literally run out here in the middle of everything going on, and they try to stand there and fight all these robots and NPCs. Like the,
Backup request.
and it's so stupid. And then they die, and then you gotta try to save them.
Rogue airburst seeker mine detected. Rogue sniper turret detected.
That agent! I have to reload!
It's amazing their accuracy. Where's that second one? This is when you want to pound them.
You should really just stay down!
Oh no.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Sticky bomb out!
No.
No shot here! Take it out! It's time to just die!
Oh, you little bastard.
Rogue airburst seeker mine detected. Vital signs critical.
Oh shit.
Serious trauma detected.
Oh, I knew that fucking dickhead was gonna get me. I should have just stayed where I was. Whatever. Fucking pussy was running from me anyways.
Target lost.
I'm just trying to read what you're saying here. If the community... Oh yeah, I know, for sure. I'm glad they're doing this. I mean, there's some people that are bitching. You know what I really hate? Is I really hate when people say the game is dead. I hear that a lot. It's not everybody saying it. There's it's like a really small minority of people saying the game's dead. And I keep saying, no, it's not. Not even close. It's not. Because when I go into the dark zone, or I go into conflict or whatnot, there's always lots of people. I never have a hard time finding anything when it comes to PvP at all. Now, which brings me up to the next thing. Let me just see what this piece is first. Okay, repair skills. No, I don't want that. Which brings me up to the next thing. So there's this right here. This guy right here. So if you run armor on kill with this guy, the shock trap, and you get injured, you've probably seen me getting healed. And it's not killing them. They're just touching it. It's just shocking them, and it's healing me. Actually, it heals me quite good. The more armor on kill I stack, the stronger it is, obviously. There was one guy that was saying that that they're gonna fix that, which they probably will. But I don't think it's going to be on the high priority list because it's not game breaking and it's not even remotely. Actually, it's not really bad at all. It's not something that's breaking the game. I mean, you could still be murdered. You could still be killed. It's not gonna save your. It's not gonna like make it so you never die. It's not one of those bugs. It's just a bug that basically where armor on kill and the shock trap or the shrapnel trap, for that matter, will trigger a heal, whether the target dies or not. They don't have to die for you to heal. So, but yeah, this guy was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I was like, I doubt that particular thing is going to be at the top of their list because there's a lot of other things that actually are game-breaking glitches that they're working on to fix. So those would be the first priority over a stupid little shock trap that heals you. That is going to be at the bottom of the list, right? Yeah. It's like going to the hospital, okay? And somebody's got like a little cut and it's not deep, it's just a cut. And then somebody's having a heart attack. So who do you think the first priority is going to be? Not the guy with the cut. It's not bad. It's minor. He probably should have stayed home because it wasn't that bad. Right? So they're going to take the heart attack guy first because that's more of a priority. It's the same thing with this, right? They're going to go for the main updates first. Things that need to be fixed now. That are, running rampant. Something like what I'm doing is like that guy with the cut. It's so minor, it's not even funny. And it's something that I accidentally stumbled upon when I was running my explosive delivery build and I decided to run gunner. I accidentally changed from demolitionist to gunner, and I always run the shock trap because you get the explosive thing from that as well. When you throw it on top, it does like a little blow up afterwards. and I accidentally discovered it. I got hit a couple times, and it was pretty good damage. And then they jumped into my... Yeah, I know. So what happened was when I thought I was using demolitionist and I was using gunner, and I just switched my build manually. This is how I discovered it. I always like to use the shock trap just to keep them back, and plus I use the vial mask so they bleed a little bit. So like I said, I was injured. I threw my shock trap out to keep them back from rushing me, and they started running through it. They weren't dying, obviously. These were gold guys running through it, and it was healing me like crazy. Like my thing went from almost like nothing to full within like not even a second. And I was like, what the hell? What just happened? Like, how did I heal like that? That's when I discovered that the shrapnel trap or the shock trap with armor on kill, whether you're running gunner, there's three things you could. Well, there's more than that, but there's three main strong ways to do it. It's four actually. Two of the biggest ones though is Hunter's Fury. Naturally has armor on kill built into the actual thing, so you get 20% armor on kill. If you have like 2 or 3 pieces, I think it's 3 pieces, gives you 20% armor on kill, and I think it's 30% health on kill, which also, by the way, the shock trap also activates that as well. The health on kill. So that's the strongest one actually, is to use Hunters. You don't even have to use gunner. You can just run Hunter's Fury, and you'll heal with the shock trap. Or System Corruption is the second one, because it's got 15% armor on kill for 2 pieces. I never run just 2 pieces. If I'm going to run System Corruption, I'm going to run 4 pieces, right? Obviously. It just doesn't make sense. I don't like when people do that. I hate saying this, but when I see somebody run like a 3-piece striker, to me, I look at that and I go, okay, so you're trying to do like a hybrid build, okay, but well, see, I tested this without the vial mask. So it still heals you regardless. Because I thought that the vial mask might have something to do with it, so I took it away and I tested it different ways. And by the way, I did tell Ubisoft about this, so this guy that was going on a rant with me about, like, he told Ubisoft or he showed them my video or whatever, I said, I know, I already told them. They already know. But again, it's like that guy that comes into the ER with a little paper cut and he thinks he's going to get first priority. People think that that's going to be first priority, but it's not. It's the heart attack that's going first. Or somebody that's bleeding badly is going to go first. I was just floored. I mean, it's not like a lot of people doing it. It's like a really, really small, I can probably fit them in 2 hands, amount of people that have said something about the shock trap thing. Versus, thousands of people that are like, that's cool. That's a good discovery. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, buddy? Are you over COVID yet, buddy? I was lucky because I recovered rather quickly. But I also got my shots. Because I have to, because I have an issue. I have an autoimmune problem, so I had to get my 3 shots. If I wouldn't have got those shots, I might have been in trouble. I'm convinced that I would have been in trouble, actually, because I had issues, right? So, and that's what COVID preys on, is people with weaknesses like that, like issues. So that was kind of scary at first too, because the first 48 hours of me having that was pretty brutal. Even though I had three shots, it was still pretty brutal for the first 2 days. After that, it wasn't too bad. I think it was about day 5 I was fine. Damn. Yeah. See, now, remember that, do you guys remember that guy that was, he was pretty, I don't know if he was pretty famous. Not like super famous, but he was pretty famous. This was near the beginning of COVID. This guy was in the hospital for 3 months with COVID. And I'm not trying to scare you, but well, you know what happened, right? He didn't make it. But he was in the hospital for 3 months with COVID. I think they had to put him into a coma or something, like an induced coma. But he eventually died. That's the other thing about comas too. When they put you into a coma, or you're in a coma, the longer you're in that coma, you actually it's really bad for your system. Your system actually accelerates quicker. And yeah, because I know, because my stepdad had a heart attack and he was in a coma and he didn't make it. He didn't last very long. I think it was like 6 months and he died. Because they didn't take him off the machine or anything. He just died because something happens when you're in a coma that accelerates processes that normally wouldn't happen if you were awake. Don't ask me why, because I can't tell you why. I was talking to the doctor about this thing, and that's what they were telling me about this. Being in comas for long periods of time is very bad for your health, indeed. But I was I had to go to a board meeting, and they said to me that they wanted to, yeah. Well, what was happening was my stepdad's, so we clashed because we had to go to this medical board meeting, and they were telling me, you know, you need to make a choice. We would like to take him off life support, and we would like to stop the feeding tube. And his family was all for that too, and I said, no, I can't do that. And they're saying to me, you know, they were saying to me, like, you know, that's not right, you know, he's just going to suffer more. I said, but I'm deciding on somebody's fate here, whether they live or die. You know what I mean? I got to be human here. I know what you're saying probably makes sense, but I can't do it. I know that there could be a possibility that it might turn around, and I would hate to be making that choice knowing that I never know if that would change. You know what I mean? I know that they're saying that this is never going to change, but they don't know that because there's been many cases where it has turned around. But they're getting you into this choice to make this choice. You know, like, we need to kill this guy, basically. But the way I was seeing it was, they're taking the feeding tube away from him, so he's going to starve to death. And nobody deserves to die like that. I mean, if you're going to take somebody off oxygen, okay, that's still brutal too. But stopping their feeding, I mean, they're basically going to die from starvation. And I couldn't do it. I mean, eventually he died, but still. If there's a chance, you take it, you know? Like, if there's a chance that you gotta have hope. You can't just say, hey, you know what? We gotta do this right now. I mean, I've had to make choices like that. It's not fun. Yeah. So I don't like being forced into that's a big decision to make. And I didn't like being forced into a corner, basically. You gotta do this. This has gotta be done soon, like within a couple days. That's basically, they were giving me a timeline. He ended up living another 7 months, but you know, they were just like, you got to do this now. And I was like, no. We actually got a court order to stop it. Unfortunately, it expired. And we weren't able to get it back. So that wasn't fun. Everybody makes it sound easy though, you know? That's what I mean. If you say, okay, pull it, right? And then you'll never know the answer, right? But then if you don't pull it, they could suffer, but you never, again, you don't know the answer. But some people make it sound like it's really easy. So I'm working on, no, I know. And I know the doctors were probably right, but you know, it's, you got to take this on both sides of the fence. They probably were right. Hey, what's up? They probably were right, but on the other hand, you still have to be human. And you got to think, hey, this could turn around. There's chances. There is a chance. Doesn't mean it's gonna. Now watch what happens when they run through that. I'm gonna try not to self-heal myself here with the hack-step protocol. If I can help it. They'll come. It's just a matter of if they run into where I put it or if they... There we go. There's a nice chunk right there. Okay, so he just got shocked and he gave me a really nice chunk of... So I'm showing you. What this is why I was like, what the hell? Like, oh, he just did it again. There's another chunk. I mean, if he runs right through it, yeah, like that, I would heal, like, I would have been full by now. I don't have any more armor to heal, and then I got over it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm running... Yeah. Well, see, when I'm on Legendary, this is what I do with the shock trap, is I'll stick out my head out the doorway, I'll start pounding somebody with a weapon. I'll put the shock trap in this area right here, because I know that if they try to run through that, it's gonna heal me like crazy if I get damaged. See? I just took damage then healed it right back because the other drone ran into it initially, so it just gave me the health right back. And because it's a really good cooldown, I can literally just keep doing this. Plus I have hack step protocol right there, right? Which gives me more damage. I can do more damage with this while it's active. And I know I could get my thing up. Because when I was running this before, you know, you get those people that come in and they're like, they see your video and they're like, well, you know, if you did it this way and that way, you could get your, you know, you could get your ticks up higher. But like the fact that I can get my ticks up to over 500,000 without sacrificing a lot of things to get it up to 1 million, because let's face it, to get your shit up to 1 million, you really got to sacrifice things. Because I can do it. I have a tip of this spear build that I can get like 1.2 million a tick. There we go, he just ran into it again. Oh yeah, I like this build. It's great. See, what I was telling people too, I'm just gonna go back down to the lobby. So what I was telling people by this, because I did have a couple of people that were like, okay, well this didn't work for me. And I gotta think about this, because I'm thinking to myself, like, did they just throw the, like, did they utilize the area with the shock trap properly, or did they just throw it out there and hope that things would run into it? Because that's the other thing, right? I can't see what they're doing. So basically what I'm saying in a nutshell is, did they do it in a smart way, or did they just literally just not worry about it? And the very beginning, when I first made that video, I had to make a couple more after that, because there was a couple of people who still did, they were trying to tell me that it was working differently than it actually was. So they were convinced that I was actually killing the targets, and that's how I was getting the heals, and they thought, okay, well that's normal. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Watch very carefully, right? They're just touching the shock. They're not dying. Now, if they die, I still get that nice chunk of armor on kill as well, but when they're not dying and I'm healing anyways, well, I mean, that's definitely something to look at, right? But you have to be, and I have ran this in PvP just to test it out. I don't typically run it in PvP, but I tried it out. And I had two guys rush at me, and I was severely damaged. I threw it out. They both ran through it, and I healed up like crazy fast. So I was like, okay, it does work in PvP. I assumed it would. I kind of, in the back of my mind, I kind of knew it would, but I wanted to make sure and see if it was not just like PvE or if it was both. I also tested it in Conflict. It also works there as well. Again, you have to be a little conscious of where you're throwing it. You can't, I mean, people can see it, right? So the NPCs are no different. If they see it and they can avoid it, they'll go around it. So that's why you have to make sure that if they box you in, make sure that there's a doorway or something available so that you can basically give them no choice. If they want to come at you, they've got to come in this small area. And don't forget, if you're going to, the shrapnel trap also does the same thing. The only difference between the shock, they can see the shock trap, but the shock trap does heal you better. The shrapnel trap gives you a decent heal too, but they can't see that one. By the time they notice the shrapnel trap's there, they've already stepped on it. Like by the time the game warns them, hey, you know, there's a shrapnel trap, they've already stepped on a couple pieces. I've seen people do it, so, and I've done it myself, so I know. When you're running along and you don't know there's a shrapnel trap there and you step through it, you're dead. I mean, depends on what they're wearing too. Now the reason why I like the shrapnel trap sometimes is it does work with demolitionist and my little explosive delivery as well. Um, Part two of that little thing that I was talking about is I'm wondering if this guy right here, this talent right here, explosive delivery, because I was using this in PvP the other day as well. I'm wondering if it's ignoring their hazard protection, because we did have a couple of people in the match that were wearing full hazard, and I was still killing them with this. Like if they were taking full damage from my explosives, no matter what. So that's why I wonder if explosive delivery is ignoring their hazard protection simply because I'm using that talent. Because I have been doing some testing to see, and I've noticed that full hazard builds I've been able to demolish. If I run this though, if I run explosive delivery, I always use 4 pieces of hardwired right here, and I put this on as well. And the traps work great too, because if you throw it down at the right time and they go to run through the trap, they'll also get trapped into that little circle. Which when it explodes, if they're in that circle and they're in the radius of the shrapnel trap and it explodes, it also activates those other shrapnels that will also detonate at the same time as their initial touch, which seems to really kill them fast. I've killed quite a few people with full hazard builds though with explosive delivery, and that's why I wonder if it's an issue, like if it's causing explosive damage to ignore their hazard because of the talent. I'm still testing that though, but so far I have killed people quite easily with hazard builds using this. The reason that, well, I mean, it's self-explanatory. The reason why I use it with hardwired is pretty easy to figure that out. You're using explosive delivery and you're able to keep using explosive secret mines. Yeah. Because remember, when you throw that out and it lands, that little explosion circle, but it's not little, it's actually a medium-sized circle. But when it lands, they don't see that circle. They have no idea that there's going to be an explosion. It just happens. And it does full damage when it hits. It doesn't matter if they're hiding behind cover either, because it goes through their cover and gets them. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the oxidizer in that sense. Because if you throw a grenade at somebody and it lands like right there, and the circle will obviously go around them if they're hiding behind here, but it won't hurt them. Normally, if it's just a grenade, right? Unless it's fire, of course, then it can go through, right? But if it's just an ordinary, plain old frag grenade, the cover is going to protect them. But if I throw my secret mine at that front, and I'm running explosive delivery, and that circle goes around them, it's doing 1.7 million damage to that guy. Right through his cover. It just totally ignores his cover. So, and I have used decoys. Decoys also work with explosive delivery. It's actually quite kind of funny, actually, because again, you throw a decoy at somebody, and for the first second and a half, they're like, before that, up to that, they're gonna be like, oh, it's just a decoy, and then they stand up and it blows up in their face. It doesn't matter because it'll get them through cover as well. It's just funny to deploy it.
Safe area entered.
Because normally when you throw a decoy out, it's just a decoy, right? Like, no big deal. But not this one. This is a special decoy. This is Explosive Larry. and he doesn't take anybody's shit. Right? Did I? Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't put explosive. I didn't put my explosive delivery on. Okay, let me do that again. Oh, never mind. The minute I did, he blew up. That was cool. Let's try that again. I want to try that again. I want to see something. Just check this out. That was interesting. I didn't know that. So I'll put this on. I'll throw him out again.
Agent requesting backup.
Oh shit, no. Get rid of that. Come on. Let's throw him out again. He's not going to blow up because I took explosive delivery off. But the interesting part about this is there he is. See, he's just a regular old decoy. But apparently if I do this, I didn't know this by the way. Now he explodes. It's like a delayed... Like, can I keep doing that? Let me see. Are you kidding me? Oh boy, that's not good. So you're telling me that if I could quickly switch between those, I could make that decoy continuously explode. Let me do something here real quick. See, you have to do it manually because during combat I don't think you can... So apparently if you just put on a piece of gear and you throw this guy and you just throw it like that, then apparently he doesn't explode because I'm not using explosive damage. Or, sorry, explosive, you know what I mean. But if I put this on, delivery, apparently he explodes. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's not good, because somebody could literally hide and keep making their decoy explode. Because as you saw, I was able to keep doing it, right? I kept making them explode. That is not good, my friends. Is there... I bet you that works with other things too, like, I bet you if I did this... We'll take this off, put that on. We'll throw that guy out. He'll do his thing. And while he's doing his thing, I just casually do that. And he does that. And he just casually blows up and oh my god. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's not good. That's not good. Now, let's kick it up a notch and put... Oh, no, 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 no. Nope. I picked the wrong one. Let's kick it up a notch and put Demolitionist on. Okay, so... I wonder if I could do... I was trying to filter that. Options. Brand. No, that's too far down. So if you take this guy out, Okay, so I'm not using explosive delivery, but then when I go to put explosive delivery back on, it explodes. And then you do this. And then apparently it explodes again. Jesus. That's how these motherfuckers in the Dark Zone are doing that shit. Not that, but something different. Oh, that's not good. Where's my phone? That's not good at all. That's kind of scary because now there could be other things that people are doing, because if you can do that, does that also mean you can tardigrade nonstop? Oh, that was just a shock, because I'm not using explosive delivery, but that's crazy. Ah, I've hit a snag. So there's explosive delivery. Well, let's see what happens when we do this again, because I didn't see anything happen. Yeah, but this is crazy. If you're doing this, if somebody was to do this, look it. Like, as long as I switch between those two fucking pieces, I can indefinitely make that thing explode non-stop. And if I'm really fast about it, I can keep making that explode. That's not good. That makes me wonder about other things, though. Like, other things. Not just explosive delivery, but there could be a lot of other different things that people are doing. I think I think that's how people are getting their armor. From what I've heard, I think this is what happened. It was something like that. From what I heard as well, I heard they fixed that issue. I was always under the impression, though, that during combat you couldn't switch pieces out. But apparently you can, because that was considered combat that I was doing. If I tried to switch my loadout, like to do the loadout thing, it wouldn't have let me. But to manually switch it, it lets me. So that's the part I think they fixed, is during combat they don't let you manually put stuff on and take off, which is good, because I like I said, I think people are using stuff, like different things that are helping them out. It makes sense, but on the other if they're sitting back, then I don't know. Unless there's a faster way of them switching instead of going in like that, I don't know. Maybe they have something on their controller, I don't know. But that's not good, that I can go and switch two pieces out and then switch two pieces back and then switch, and keep doing it. And I can literally make that turret explode every time. Like the explosive delivery keeps activating. That's actually kind of not good. I'm actually gonna clip that part of the video. I might see if I can send that to them. They probably already know about this, though. This is nothing new. I'm sure they do. I think this is what they're talking about with this kind of shit, so I'm not even gonna bother, because I'm pretty sure they already know about this. I'm almost positive on that, actually. I'm about 99% sure on that, because I remember hearing this a little while ago. There's a guy that I normally play hockey with, like EA Sports hockey. Um, and this was a couple of weeks ago now. I had to go upstairs. Normally around 11 o'clock, I usually go upstairs and have a couple things I have to do real quick. And I told these guys that I normally play with, they know this. Not a big deal, because I wait on their ass all the time, right? One time I waited a half an hour for one person, so so I go upstairs. I think I was gone maybe 10, maybe 12 minutes. I come back, and he's like, yeah, sorry, we found somebody else. They couldn't wait. So, okay, alright. So, me waiting for you for half an hour was okay, but if you wait for me for 12 minutes, that's a problem? Okay, so he keeps asking me to play, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. That's not good, though, what I just figured out. Well, I just figured it out. Doesn't mean everybody else didn't figure it out. I don't want to know that, but I'm not going to use that. Don't worry about that. But that's kind of scary doing that. Finding that shit out. Because now a bunch of things run through my head, like, okay, so during PvP, when you see those guys not moving, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what are they activating? Right? Because there's lots of talents in the game that could possibly be activating. Little yellow rain jacket. I don't think I have that rain jacket, to be honest. I might. I don't know. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, looks dumb. I don't want to be like anybody else. I want to be me. Plus, I think this looks cooler with the gun. It's like I can reach up, pull it out, and shoot someone in the face. You know what I mean? It's so accessible. Yeah. Plus, I have one on the side right there. Two on the back. It's like I'm going to war. Well, I am going to war. But, not right now. So I'm gonna go up and, I just did my, we just had my bathroom done. I had to replace a bunch of shit. Electrical included. So I'm gonna go up and clean that mess up because that's done. We actually have taps that work again. Yes. Because before I had to jimmy just because we were waiting for somebody to come get it done. And so for in the meantime, I had to lift up the handle a little bit and kind of turn it to turn the water on and off. But it's funny because just before we did it, it broke. So I'm glad that it's done now because now we actually have taps that work. I've never been so excited before about taps because I guess it's because they actually work. So I'm always on. So I mean, like at nighttime as well. So I'll be back. And you'll notice something with me. Sometimes I'll say, If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like and all that nice stuff. Typically I don't, though. At the end of my streams, typically I don't, usually. Because, like, that's up to you, right? If you want, if you do, then that's great. If you don't, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Um, all right, guys. Take care.